People said the shortcut was unsafe, but no one could ever explain why. Most of the warnings were vague. Shrugs, lowered voices, people saying it just felt wrong. It was a narrow path behind a row of houses, connecting two streets that normally took much longer to walk between. From the sidewalk, you could barely see where it started unless you were looking for it. Cracked pavement, tall fences on both sides, no lights. The fences were mismatched. Wood on one side, rusted chain link on the other, and some leaned inward like they'd been pushed that way. People avoided it out of habit, the same way you avoid places that never really got finished. No one ever talked about anything specific happening there, just that it was better not to use it. During my junior year of high school, I started using it because I kept running late for school. My mornings were always rushed, shoes half-tied, backpack barely zipped. The first few times, nothing happened. I remember paying close attention, waiting for something to feel off, but it never did. It saved me about 10 minutes, and that was it. 10 minutes felt like a gift back then. No strange feeling, no fear, no sounds except my own footsteps and the distant noise of traffic on the main road. It just worked. Too well, in hindsight. After a while, it stopped feeling like a shortcut and started feeling like the normal way to go. I didn't even think about choosing it anymore. The longer route felt unnecessary, almost wasteful. That's when small things began to change. At first, they were easy to dismiss. I started losing time. I didn't notice it happening. Only the gaps afterward. Not whole hours, just minutes I couldn't account for. Enough to make me check the clock twice. I'd leave the house at the same time but arrive at school earlier or later without understanding why. Sometimes the bell would already be ringing. Other times I'd be uncomfortably early. Then my memory started slipping. It wasn't dramatic, just soft, gradual erosion. I'd forget parts of my day. Whole sections felt smudged, like they'd been rubbed out. Conversations felt familiar but incomplete. People would reference things I knew I'd been part of, but couldn't fully recall. Assignments blurred together. I started rereading my own notes because they didn't feel like something I'd written. My parents blamed stress. Junior year was supposed to be hard. Doctors ran tests, blood work, sleep checks, everything came back normal. They told me to get more rest and cut back on caffeine. Physically, I got worse. The changes showed up in mirrors and photos before I felt them. I was exhausted all the time. Sleep didn't seem to help. I lost weight without trying. My clothes hung looser every week. My hands shook when I held my phone. Sometimes I'd drop it without realizing my grip had loosened. Some mornings I woke up with dirt on my shoes, like I'd walked somewhere I couldn't remember. The dirt was always dry, even if it hadn't rained. I stopped using the shortcut for a week. I took the long way without thinking about it. I felt better. Not perfect, just steadier, clearer, like static had been turned down. Then one morning, running late again, I used it. I told myself one time wouldn't matter. That night, I woke up downstairs on the couch, fully dressed, my backpack by the door. The TV was off. The house was quiet. My bedroom was upstairs. I hadn't gone to bed there. My parents hadn't heard me come down. They said I hadn't moved all night. After that, my mom told me to stop using the shortcut immediately. Her voice wasn't angry, just final. She didn't explain why. She didn't have to. She just said, "People don't go through there for a reason." She wouldn't meet my eyes when she said it. I listened. For the first time, I didn't argue. The symptoms faded slowly, not all at once, like something loosening its grip. My memory came back in pieces. Some parts never did. I felt like myself again. Mostly. Years later, I went back to my old neighborhood. The houses looked smaller than I remembered. The shortcut was gone. There was no gap anymore. Paved over, clean, ordinary, absorbed into the surrounding yards. Fences replaced it like it had never broken the line. Like it had never existed. Like no one had ever walked there at all. Standing there, I realized something. The thought came quietly. Nothing had followed me. Nothing had needed to. Nothing had chased me. Nothing had ever rushed. The shortcut never needed to. It had all the time it wanted. Some places don't hurt you all at once. They don't leave marks you can point to. They just take a little every time you pass through. So little you don't notice what's missing. And they don't give it back just because you stop going.